It is a little bit different rendition of this deck, which I, by the way, love. As you can see, this woman is being trapped over here, and there is like, I believe, Pan kind of like weaving the song, and it's kind of like working on that kind of like, oh, where do I go from here kind of thing. So in the regular deck, this is really talking about warrior who's kind of like battle weary, fatigued, drained. It's kind of like, oh, do I call it a night? Do I call it it's over? Like, I mean, you know, when you're really close to success, but you really couldn't care less. You just like, you really know that, you know, you just have this one more step, but you really don't know how to do it. At the same time, you have been through thick and thin. You have been through setbacks. You have been wounded. You have been guarded. You have been kind of like cornered. And maybe you're even expecting trouble. Maybe you're holding out for, let's say, a better deal, especially when it comes, for example, looking for work. But at the same time, I really see this card as determination, right? Especially because we have such a grounded sign over here. And look, we also have the Magician underneath, which, hello, that is Mercury. It is really talking to you. So let's kind of like go with this, because this is a really interesting combination, right? So you have this energy, guys, and this is the ground energy. Ground energy is just like a basement of your house. It is something that needs to exist, that you need to first work on this energy before you work on anything else. Let me see if I can zoom this in. No, that's it. That's the maximum. I just wanted to bring it closer to you. So let's talk about it. In kind of like in general terms, this card, it's really going to tell us that you're like maybe 3/4 of a bottle in, or 80%, sort of like at the very least on the other side of the halfway through a battle. So recent events looks like heavy drain of energy, and you were feeling, I just cannot go further. But guys, you are so close to getting what you want. You need to gather that last of your strength and push forward, and you will be successful. This kind of like represents ongoing battles, right? And as I said, it can be anything from, oh, I don't want to go anywhere, right? And I give up, to I'm developing this backbone. I am, you know, I'm going to develop kind of like what I really want. I don't really care if the whole world is against me. I know that I'm right on this one. So most of breakthroughs, and that's why I like this card, are coming through this card, because if breakthroughs were easy, that would not be happening. Like, they would be happening all the freaking time, and nobody would think they're like so special, right? So when it comes to love, guys, if you're in a relationship, this is going to talk that you and your partner have been going through maybe a rough time, and maybe that kind of like was because you kind of like didn't relate to each other very well, or it was just maybe life in general, or maybe just like kind of like felt I'm drained. My life is just like sapping me from all energy, right? So in partnerships, and if you're listening to this and you're thinking about the big question mark, what's going to happen to me, I really think somebody is really this close to for calling this quits. But this card is telling you to keep going. You have been through the worst, and so you just now need to gather your strength and push forward, and you will get to where you want to be, right? So this can also indicate that maybe you're dealing with a partner who has been wounded and hurt in past relationship, and this is maybe now having that negative effect in how basically dealing with you. If you're single, this tells me that maybe you have been going through a string of relationships that really didn't work out, at least not the way you wanted. You had like one expectation, and you always like were missing a mark, and hence, like, I mean, you're feeling now, okay, I'm not going to find what I want, and you're not realizing that you have been on the right track, weeding out all these people. It's okay, right? So you really need to kind of like go further and understand that you have that glass ceiling, glass box, whatever you want to call it, that is preventing you from finding the happy and healthy relationship you deserve. So even though you might feel like, I mean, hey, I'm never going to pass this, you're really so close. Let me repeat this for you guys. Just close your eyes. You are so close. Would you really give up now? So don't give up on yourself. just make sure that the next person you allow in your life, it's really worthy of your love, and just guard your heart until you they earn your trust. I mean, don't just jump in with 2 feet in. So I know you're Gemini. I'm talking to an air sign, and air sign is going, "Are you kidding me? Like, we have 2 heads. Aquarius only has 1 head." Me being Aquarius, if you didn't know. So when it comes to questions, I also feel that maybe some of you were wondering about relationship, if it's going to go further, because this is my dear Gemini marriage card. This is commitment. This is it. I mean, get off it or do the poo-poo kind of a thing, right? So, but this is also card of a boss. This is also card of, hey, you know what, how do I relate with authority, and how and what rules do I really have? So in this case, it's going to be not only kind of like interaction, but also money that is going to come to play. And it tells me that maybe money was a problem, and reality was that maybe you haven't been finding the work that you deserve, or you haven't been paid as much as you need to be paid, right? Or you had work where it almost looks like your boss and your supervisors, there's like unlimited amount of just dumping stuff on you, right? And you're kind of like really wondering if and how you can continue, kind of like looking forward and saying, oh my God, just like I cannot take one day. How would I take like all of these decades ahead of me? But this is also telling me that you really need to work on establishing, a way for you to figure out what presents success for you, right? In kind of like financial reading, that kind of like indicates it could be kind of tricky times in terms of money, but this also talks about borrowing institutions. So for example, if you apply for a credit card, and now I don't advise it because that's kind of like slippery slope kind of a thing, right? But in a gem it can do it, but you have to really focus yourself on this. Or this also can indicate a financial planner or something like that. This can indicate race, right? So this also, I think you might be doing budget and guarding your money. So you might be a little bit kind of like security conscious about cash and about all your valuables when kind of appears. As far as health, this also can have some meaning, I guess. Maybe if you have been dealing with some kind of ailments that is maybe a little bit harder to kind of like shake off, I think that kind of like sap into your energy. Just guys, you really need to get through. You really need to make yourself try with small increments, half an hour walk kind of a thing. Every little bit is going to start gathering those strengths, just like pearls. You put one and the second and third, next thing you know, you have the whole necklace. You will find it hard, but you need to kind of like push yourself forward, and trust me, you're going to get there. Just this is the card of not giving up. This card does represent chronic illness, or sometimes all injuries making a comeback, especially because it's Mercury retrograde, especially because you did have Magician over here. It could be all heartache as well, that is sort of like knocking on a door, and it can be in the form of, oh geez, why this didn't work out, and what could I have done differently. It's just kind of sadness, almost like feeling that you're never going to make that nice life. But you have to reposition this differently. The worst is behind you, right? Because spiritually, this card clearly says, hey, you know what? You have gone through a difficult time. Yes, it's normal to feel burned, and it's normal to feel worn out, right? But things are looking up, right? And you have learned your karmic lessons, so you will be able to move forward in the spiritual path. So you guys need to work on your energy levels first, and meditation or Reiki can really help. I have energy sessions that also helps. It works immediately. So this is like clearly one way of dealing with this. So let's see what's next.